What's up guys, Clearance Isle back with another How to Win Fortnite video, the series where I let you all know what's going through my head as I'm making the decisions to grab me another win in Fortnite. Hey guys, I'm back with another top 20 breakdown video. This video is for those of you out there who are consistently making it to the late game but haven't got that win yet, or for those of you trying to win more often and bump up your win percentage. Now you'll notice that we aren't quite in the top 20 yet, but I get into a few gunfights during the mid game at Tilted that really set me up for today's victory. Now I already had a few kills under my belt, but I still didn't have great loot and I'm really lacking in resources. I knew that if I came into Tilted that I'd have a good chance to get some better gear. And yeah, I mean, I walk in here with a green AR, a green pump, and a single mini shield, and I know that, you know, if I want to stand a chance at the late game, that I really need to gear up. In this game, it would have been really easy to avoid coming to Tilted, and you can definitely get to the late game every game by dropping somewhere low key and riding the edge of the storm to the final 5. But you are going to be at a serious disadvantage, especially against an aggressive player who has double-digit kills. Aggressive players like that are usually rocking, you know, legendary everything. They're near the max in resources, and most of all, they have plenty of ammo to spam shots and explosive on you. If you're under geared and lacking resources and ammo, the chances of winning are pretty slim. So what you want to do is get aggressive in the mid game. You know, by now, players have had plenty of time to get lucky with weapon drops, loot ammo boxes, and harvest materials. Your strategy is to kill them and take advantage of their hard work. You'll notice that even after a few kills here, I've already upgraded my AR, there's plenty of mini shields to keep me in the fight, and I've got options to carry a sniper or explosives. Alright, so let's talk about some gameplay really quick. This guy has been up in this building pretty much since I've been at Tilted. I've always been aware of him though. The entire time I was engaged with the other players, I made sure that I had the truck as cover, that I was building my own cover, so that I always had protection from him while I was killing the other players. Here's a quick tip. If somebody's peeking as hard as he is, you'll notice that I was just using third-person perspective to line my crosshairs up on him while I was still in cover, and then strafing out of cover with my crosshairs dead on him, and I was able to get a couple of nice headshots. You're at the advantage there because while they're hard peeking, they're waiting on you to move, and they don't know when that's going to happen. So you've got the advantage that you can strafe really quickly, and it's going to be unexpected for them, especially if they can't see through the materials like the brick. I will note that I noticed he wasn't using a sniper. If he had a sniper up there, I probably would have been a bit more hesitant to peek. Now back to the moral of this mid-game story. Now that I've killed this final player at Tilted, I've made some serious upgrades to my loot. I like to go into the late game with at least a purple scar, either a green pump or a purple tack shotty, depending on how you roll, and definitely explosives. For me personally, snipers are optional. I find them to be unnecessary in aggressive late game plays, and in this particular case, I'd much rather have these impulse grenades than a sniper. I'm not planning to be camped out in a 1-by-1 this game, you know, waiting for people to come to me. I'm planning on being aggressive, and while a sniper can be used aggressively, it's not going to make or break getting the win. So I'm going to finish looting up Tilted, grab these explosives, and then we're going to cut to some gameplay of the final 10. I managed to snag a couple of kills on my way to the next circle and grab some more materials and shields. I see the supply drop just hanging out, and it has me a little suspicious since I know there are players around, so I drop a couple of walls down just in case. And to be honest, this isn't a bad tactic anytime you see a supply drop. You know, players love to camp around them, and a couple of walls at the cost of a few materials to save your life is really worth it. I did trade the blue grenade launcher for the gold rocket launcher. I've really been enjoying the grenade launcher in the late game. You know, grenades are much harder to predict their origin, harder to predict their path and eventual destination, where rockets, you know right where they're coming from and right where they're going. But in this case, it was a bottom tier grenade launcher for a top tier rocket launcher, so I felt that was a good trade. I'm now in this fight with a guy on top of a fort. Since I didn't carry a sniper with me, he's actually at the advantage in the gunfight because he's head glitching the top of his ramp, and I'm a much easier target for him than he is for me. So my strategy here was to use explosives to take out the base of his fort and get him down on ground level with me to even out the fight. While the explosives didn't completely take out his base, I was able to do enough damage with the rockets and then use the AR to bust out the ramp he was on, bring him down a little bit, and finish him off with a rocket. Since I don't know where the remaining players are, I will build up a quick fort just long enough to survey my surroundings and listen and watch for gunfights, do a little bit of rearranging of my inventory, and just sort of reset, make sure everything's reloaded. And it's about that time that I hear some gunfight going on here to the west. I'm watching the kill feed and I'm listening to the gunfight, and as I'm approaching, I hear a shotgun, and then I check the kill feed. I see that somebody shotgun somebody, so I know that that's the fight. I get that visual confirmation, and I'm going to push this. This guy is just coming off of a gunfight, so I know that he's, if anything, at least maybe a little bit on edge, maybe a little bit weak. And when I had the AR out, I probably should have stopped and crouched to increase my accuracy a little bit. He was actually a lot more healed up than I thought he was going to be. So if you find yourself in that situation next time, just take a moment to crouch, to stop, so that you can sort of you reset that bloom, you increase your accuracy, and you increase the chances that you're going to get the kill. So now we're at the final fight. I had built up this base because I had absolutely no idea where anyone was at. I finally hear some gunfire to the northwest, so I jump out of the base and use a floor to cushion my fall and start heading towards the gunfire. All this time, I'm watching the kill feed, checking the player count. You always want to know exactly how many players are left in the late game. If you've got a small circle and 10 players left, you know that there are a lot of players hiding or in cover, especially if you're not hearing much gunfire. So you just may want to play it a bit differently if there's that many players left in a small circle. Here we are at the final fight. Now, aggressive play is what got us to this point, but right now we are just focused on winning. If that means playing a little slower here, that's fine. I don't have to run straight at this guy. I can take a minute to size him up and get position on him. I can take some time to figure out his loadout and get a sense of his playstyle. Is he aggressive or passive? Is he an advanced player? Maybe he's a builder. I might play a little differently if he has rockets versus grenades. I might play a little differently if he's building up versus building out. I might even play a little bit differently if he's content on trying to snipe for the victory. The point I'm trying to make is I'm going to take my time here and wait for my opportunity to make a play. Thanks to our aggressive play earlier, we have a great loadout and plenty of resources and materials to take it slow, and when the window opens, we're going to take it. Based on what I've learned so far in the fight, he seems like a pretty skilled player. He's accurate and he's using grenades appropriately. He's getting good shots on me and he knows when I'm going to peek. At this distance, without a long range weapon, I need to keep the pressure up and keep this distance so his grenades can't reach me. The storm is about to start closing in and I need to be thinking of my escape plan. I'm low on HP, so before I make this move, I need to put down my campfire and heal up a bit. Looking back, I could have stayed here a bit longer to heal up more. You'll notice that I was positioned in the largest gap between the storm and the new circle. That's where the storm moves the fastest. But in the heat of the battle, I incorrectly judged the speed of the storm. I was at the front edge of that cluster of trees you can see in the minimap, and I definitely could have stayed a few extra seconds to get a few extra points of HP. When I make the push, I'm using ramps as cover. This is why you need to loot up early. Having plenty of materials means you can make plenty of cover in the late game, and that could save you from a couple of hits that would really disable you. Ramps are great for moving and rushing. They act like walls, but with the added benefit of being able to maneuver over them instead of around them. They make even more cover when running at an angle like I was. We made it to the new circle alive, so it's time to heal up and form our plan of attack. He starts building some defensive structures, so I start putting rockets on it, trying to sneak them through to the bottom. I'm able to destroy a structure, and I use this as an opportunity to push forward. Anytime you're able to disable a player like this and force them to build again is a good opportunity to close the gap. I've also started to notice that he appears to be out of grenades for his launcher. He hasn't used any since I made my move to the new circle, which means I'm probably in a good spot to push soon. Whenever you see walls being built halfway in the ground like that, it's a good time to try and sneak shots above or below since it's not fully covering the player. Remember, a bullet to the foot does just as much damage as a bullet to the body. I build a couple of ramps to get some higher ground and keep the pressure up with the AR. I'm able to take down a structure again, and when I see him drop down, I decide it's time to make my move. I use an impulse grenade to close the gap quickly, pull out my shotgun, and run underneath. He drops down, pulls out an SMG, and I start jumping and shooting to make me a harder target to hit, and I'm able to get the kill. I didn't build ramps up to him because I didn't want him to be able to peek over and get an easy shot on me. I'm low on HP, so one good shotgun blast could take me out. The little bit of extra damage I was able to deal from the purple shotgun and grip of mini shields is what kept me healthy, and it definitely helped me earn this win. If you slow down the video, he actually got me down to 1 HP before I finished him. I can thank the aggressive mid-game gunfights that allowed me to loot up for this victory. I salute this guy a few times because that was a great fight. It was a 3-minute battle, but our patience paid off because we let him exhaust his resources and we slowly closed the gap. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.